So, what we have tonight is coq au vin, a classic French dish that is just amazing, full of flavor and taste. It's so easy to make that you'll love it. I hope you watch this video. Coq au vin is one of my favorites. It's one of the longest recipes I made. I made this for, oh my gosh, at least 30 years. And I perfected it, and I share with you all my secrets and step by step. I don't skip anything. That's why my videos are longer, but you learn. So anyways, this will change your life. Bonne soirée, bon appétit. Need a bottle of wine. Always something you're willing to drink. Never throw wine that you would not drink in your food, because let me tell you, it will taste accordingly. So it's important to always get a bottle that you enjoy. This is like basically a mixture from the south of France near Côte du Rhône. But any wine that is, you could do a Pinot Noir, you can do a Cabernet Sauvignon, you could do whatever fancies you. I'm going for something a little more fruity, and I'm just going to pour that all in there. To make my beautiful coq au vin. I promise you, this is delicious. Now, I got some thyme from my yard. This is silver thyme. You can use any kind of thyme. If you don't have fresh thyme, it's much better. But if you don't, you can use dry thyme and just put it in a container. Like what works really well is like you can use a tea. Basically, put your tea in there, but I use it for like dry herbs if I run out and I can't find fresh ones, which is pretty rare. But nowadays, grocery stores pretty much have fresh herbs all year round. So I'm going to drop that in there. I got 2 fresh bay leaves from my tree behind me. I know a lot of people don't have a bay leaf tree in their kitchen, so it's okay to use dry ones. I'm going to drop that in there. You know what? Sometimes I like to throw the garlic in there, and I think I will. I just need like a clove. There we go. I'm going to take a couple cloves here and just take it, give it a little smash. Okay, peel it. This is Steve's trick of peeling, by the way. Twist back and forth. You can also smash it down, but sometimes I just like to go quick. Do it a little like that. Beautiful. I'm just gonna drop that in there. Sure, all the chicken is covered. The herbs are covered by the wine. And that's it, folks. We're going to put this in the fridge overnight. And tomorrow we'll make a coq au vin. Okay, let me introduce my ingredients to make my coq au vin. Now, this is probably one of the recipes I've been making the longest. I've been making it for at least 30 years. And I've done variations, and I come down to this recipe, and I'm so happy to share it with you. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some button down mushrooms, some stems cut off. You're going to need some pearl onions. You can get those from your frozen section at your grocery store. They're already peeled and easy to do. If you can't find them, get some pearl onions or small shallots and peel them. You'll need some carrots chopped roughly. You're going to need some parsley. You're going to need some duck fat. If you don't have duck fat, you can use bacon to substitute it. And I'll talk about that when I'm using the duck fat. You're going to need a stick of butter, so 4 ounces. And I cut it into 2 tablespoon sections, so it's easy for me just to pick them out. You're going to need a 1/4 cup of flour. You're going to need 4 cups of chicken stock. Now, this is a chicken stock I made a few weeks ago that I had left over, and I froze it. I'm going to skim the fat from the top, and I'll be using that. You're going to need some brandy, sea salt, coarse black pepper. You're going to need, I think it's about 3 pounds. Check my description for the exact amount. I think it's 3 pounds. 4 pounds to 5 pounds of chicken, a whole chicken, which you're gonna cut it into 8 pieces. And then, of course, I have a video that shows you how to marinate it. And you'll need thyme for that. Bay leaves. You'll need 2 bay leaves for that, and a bottle of red wine, and a garlic crushed, and put in there. And I think that covers everything. So let's get cooking. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to need 2 pans. You're going to need, now you can use a frying pan, but I like these with the high curve so it doesn't splatter everywhere. And then you're going to need a casserole dish, something heavy, to be cooking it. So let's turn on our heat here. And I think the first ones we're going to do is the onions. What do you say? Actually, let me organize a little bit here, and we'll be back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to disorganize a few things. So we're going to take our duck fat, and we're just going to take about, let's say a big tablespoon, maybe 2. Just drop it in there. Now, while that's melting, I'm going to start to remove my chicken. And we got my trusted rag handy. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to take the chicken, drain it, throw it in there. Drain it, throw it in there. And I find that it's easiest just to use your hands. Make sure your hands are clean, of course. I get that drumstick. See the beautiful color it's gotten from the wine. Put this last night. So literally about 24 hours. And it's going to be so delicious. Okay. All right, this should be nice and warm by now. Now I'm going to take my frozen pearl onions. If they're not frozen, they'll need less time in the pan. And we're just going to saute them brown. All right. Just a few minutes. And I do it over a medium heat. I'm used to looking at the flames and not the dial. It's an old habit from cooking for so many years and using different kitchens. All right, I'm gonna take my thyme out, my bay leaves out, and I'm gonna reserve my marinade, or just the wine that is wonderful flavor. And then what's going to be next is the mushrooms and then the carrots. And we're going to use the wooden spoon. This goes actually pretty quick. The chicken is going to take 45 minutes on the stove. This is not a terribly difficult dish, but let me tell you, it is delicious. And who can go wrong with cocoa vent? Now, there was a story behind a cocoa vent. The story is that before France was France, it was Gaul. And the Romans came in and invaded. And the leader of the Gauls gave the scrawny chicken, actually a rooster, to the emperor of Rome on the invasion on the field as a gift. And it was supposed to be an insult. And the emperor took it and gave it to his cooks, and the cooks put it in wine and made this beautiful little thing called cocoa vin. And they served it, invited the Gaul leader, and served it to him, and to show the sophistication of Rome. Anyways, that's a story I've heard when I was a kid. I don't know if it's true, but take it or leave it. All right, so the pearl onions are going, and they're going to take a little longer than if they weren't frozen, which, trust me, you feel about 30 pearl onions, this is amazing. So we'll be right back. We're going to give this a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to pat down my chicken and dry it up with paper towels. And okay, so that's what it looks like, nice and brown. Now I'm going to lift these out and replace them with mushrooms and add a little bit of butter. Got some beautiful browning. I'm just going to drop this out. You might be asking yourself, why does he use butter instead of bacon? Well, I'll tell you why. But before I do, I'll throw my mushrooms in here. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter. Wipe my hands here. And I'm going to stir this. Now, duck fat has so much flavor. And I love bacon. But bacon, in my opinion, overpowers it. And I know a lot of people out there are going to go, no, it doesn't overpower it. But in my opinion, the duck gives it that flavor, but doesn't overpower it. And it is just beautiful. Now what we're doing here is just browning these mushrooms. Now, some mushrooms you can wash, some you can't. So these mushrooms, right before you use them, you can put them under, the faucet gently and clean them. And no problem. Just dry them off and then cook them. They're ready to go. But some mushrooms, like for example, portobello, it has the ribs underneath it. And any mushroom that has those ribs, you cannot wash them. So you need to use a brush. You can use a vegetable brush, you can use a pastry brush, but you just brush them and clean them. Of course, portobello, you remove the stems. And that's how you do it. If you have to, you can use a wet cloth, but that's the extent you can do on anything that has ribs. So the oyster, mushrooms, portobellos, I can't think of another one, but right. That's what you want to do. Okay, look at this. It is nice and brown. Let me do a quick video on that. How beautiful these mushrooms are. The duck fat and the butter browned them beautifully. Now I'm going to remove them and add my carrots. All right. Look at that, huh? Okay, now this is getting a little hot. We'll let that heat a little bit. I'm going to drop, yes, more butter. More butter. And back on the heat. Toss that. Now I'm going to add my carrots. I'm going to saute those carrots. And I'm just going to saute them so they're, just get a nice glaze to them. And most of the cooking will be in the pot. So maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Beautiful. Okay. 3 or 4 minutes. Then we'll tackle the chicken, brown them, and our flour, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, while my carrots are cooking, I got my pearl onions here. I'm just going to season with mushrooms. Pepper, I like to go pretty liberal. I'm using coarse pepper. Just toss this a little bit. Gently. You don't want to break up those pearl onions. If you go like a brute, they'll come apart on you. Those carrots. Oh, no, I love how carrots smell when you saute them. They just got a beautiful, sweet flavor, smell to them. Now, you might wonder, when you're going to get mushrooms, how do you know if a mushroom is good or not so good? The worst thing is what grocery stores do. They wrap the mushrooms in plastic, which accelerates the decay. So if you can buy mushrooms that are open, some grocery stores have them open, where you buy them in bulk, that's the best way. And I'll tell you what you do. You take a mushroom and you smell it. If it smells earthy, sweet, that's a good sign. That's good. If it smells like a little wet, soft, no. That means it's starting to go bad. So, you know, just a couple tips. When you store your mushrooms in your fridge, never put them in a container. Put them where you keep your salads and stuff, but put them in an open bowl or a brown bag. That's actually a great way to store them. All right, the carrots are good. Let's get it a little warm. There we go. And I'm just going to lightly push my carrots out, trying to keep the butter in there. You can use something slotted to, so the butter stays in there. But anyways, all right. Now we're gonna add a little bit more butter, and we're gonna add a little bit more fat. I'm gonna lower the heat for a second, though. A little duck fat. Where's my handy spoon? It disappeared on me. I'm sure it's just hiding on me, but let me get another one. All right, just a little bit. If you don't have duck fat, you could do butter and olive oil. I won't need any more duck fat, so put that away. If you're in the States and you're looking for duck fat, Whole Foods carries it. It's pretty easy to find it there. Okay, now we're going to have some fun. We're going to do the chicken. And we're going to just cook these on medium heat. And we're just going to cook them till they're golden. Once they're golden, we're going to throw it into the casserole. That's all will fit there for now. All right, let me give this a minute. It's going to take about, I would say, roughly like 2 minutes on each side. I'm going to pause this and show you when we progress. All right, that's what it looks like when it's golden. You can see that color. And what I'm simply going to do, I'm going to check the bottom here, see if it's golden on both sides now. We want it golden. Yeah, it's almost there. All right, I'm just going to check on this one. That looks good. All right, so I'm going to put these to the corner. And I'm going to throw the rest of my guys in there. And the ones that are golden, I'm just going to put them on top. Then I'm going to add my flour. There, that's all the chicken. And I'm going to make those golden, and then I will add the flour and stir. Okay, so the chicken is golden. Now I'm going to sprinkle some flour. And this is a quarter cup. I'm just going to drop about half of that. And then I'm just going to coat all the chicken. I find using two spoon turn these much more effective than tongs because I just want to stir it all in there. Super easy to do. Turn that. Turn that. And now you see why I use the large edges of the saucepan instead of a frying pan, because I make a mess doing this. But this is adding so much flavor and yumminess. Make sure you have it on medium heat. A little higher than medium. If you see any white flour, keep tossing it. Perfect. Okay. Put these aside. I'm going to need those. Now you're just going to take your chicken, throw it in your casserole. You're going to need your brandy now. And what we're going to do is we're going to deglaze this beautiful pan, all that flavor. There we go. Okay. Now, when you're doing this, be careful, it's flammable. So, don't put it. So a quarter cup, a little more. The alcohol evaporates. And then what you can do is you can scrape this, get all that wonderfulness loose, which is all the flavor from the vegetables, the duck fat, chicken, flour. I keep it a little too high. I'm lowering it. Alright. Off the heat for a second. Now I'm going to take my chicken stock, 4 cups. And if you don't make your own chicken stock, just you get what you got. You want to use a good flavored roasted chicken stock. It's really not hard to make. Check out my video where I make my own. And especially if you do a whole chicken, save the carcass, and which in this instance you could easily make it in vegetables. You just need a little bit of celery. But see my description, I have a link to it, and I'll show you how to make it in an hour. Pretty easy. Alright. I need to get my wonderful spoon. And just turn that in there. Just back on the heat. I think we need a little bit more bourbon. There we go. I'm just going to get that in a minute. And if you notice, I'm scraping the bottom. I'm just loosening everything. And that's going to add thickness to your cocoa batch. So don't be afraid. And also, helps you clean your pan. Easier to clean later. And you notice I'm making like almost here. I'll get a close up to that. Alright. Now, I'm going to take my marinade and drop it into this pan. And now I'm going to toss this a little bit more. Well, mix this in. I'm just going to leave it in the heat there for a second. I'm going to drop my veggies into the casserole. And hardest part's done. Well, you got one more step. So I'm going to bring the heat up on this a little bit. I just want to make sure I get all the yumminess I can from this pan. Alright. These pans are heavy. So what I like to do is I just like to grab it from the edge here. Then I'm going to pour it in there. Beautiful. Off the heat. Put this back on. Now I'm going to gently toss this a little bit. Bring it to a medium heat. Old habits. Alright. Might need another tablespoon of butter just in case. Now we'll get to that in a minute. But medium heat. That's a lot of good stuff right here. This not a problem. Not too late. Like that. That. Don't waste any of that. That's all golden. There we go. Okay. Now, 45 minutes on a medium heat. That's medium. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to come and just take a look at it, see that it's simmering nicely. But really, 45 minutes. Set your timer and come back, and you'll have a wonderful, wonderful cocoa batch. So we'll be right back. Okay. It's been about a good, 30 minutes. Let me take a look at this. Bubbling away very nicely. I'm just going to give it a little stir. There we go. Just going to give it a little taste. Very good. Needs pepper though. So if if you remember, I put 2 good pinches before. Put in another 2 good pinches. Now, I like, season how you like it, but I love pepper, and I'd say 3 salts. No, 3 pinches of salt. But taste it. If you feel it needs less, put 1 pinch, stir it, taste it, and then add more if it's not enough. I just know my taste is pretty good after all these years. That's good. Alright. Needs another. I lowered the heat a little bit. I just need to delay my dinner. No problem. If I kept it at the same heat, it would be ready in about 40-45 minutes. But I just slowed it down, so it takes a little more time, which is fine. And it'll be ready when everybody arrives here. So we'll be back. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. And you notice the sauce is thickened, but it's not as thick as I want. So, what I did is I took equal parts, 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of flour, mixed the 2 together to become a paste. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift all these vegetables out and chicken, put it in a bowl, and then just mix my sauce, my mixture of flour and butter into there to thicken the sauce. And you'll see it'll immediately thicken it. So I'll show you that in a second. Alright, so vegetables back in, and look at the difference. Look at the difference. Look at the richness in that sauce. Okay, it's ready. Just gotta wait. And when I'm ready to serve, I'm gonna drop this parsley and turn off the heat. So I'm turning off the heat. Dropping my parsley in there. And just stir in. And there you go. Coq au vin. Look how beautiful that is. Bon appetit. Bon soir. Okay, so this is all ready to go. You're going to give it a little stir. And I'm just going to grab a breast here. Pop it here. Get some vegetables. Like that. And then we'll get the leg, which is, I like dark meat. So that's for me. And some vegetables. Plenty of mushrooms, and oh my god, it's so lovely. And dress it with some parsley. And let's get a close-up of that, and there you have it. Coq au vin. Delicious, wonderful meal. So I hope you enjoy this. Subscribe, like if you liked it. Share with the world. Comment if you try this or want to try this or whatever. I love comments. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you to my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Bonne soirée, bon appétit.